Okay, guys, welcome back to the finale of Let's Play Thief Gold. We are in the Maw of Chaos, and we have to foil the Trickster's plans to open up the portal to the actual Maw and ship in an army of his weird, I don't know, netherworldly, Lovecraftian horror monster things that he will most likely take over the world with. So that's where we're at right now, and it is Friday night, and I'm about to get into some more bourbon-fueled larceny. And I would say there's not going to be any larceny in this level, but that's not entirely true. So, as always, I'm just checking to make sure my recording is good. My recording looks good. We're playing on expert. I am a little nervous, if I'm being honest, but I think it's better to just charge headfirst into it and get it done. I am ready for this to be done. Not that I hate the game, but it's been many levels. It's been a long game. There's been a couple of them I don't like, and this one is one that I actually do like. I think it's great, but it's time to finish up. I want to play something else. And every time I say, oh, I'm going to play Deus Ex, or I'm going to play this, or whatever, I'm just like, you know what? No, we need to finish Thief Gold, and that's what we're going to do right now. So, without further ado, and of course we're checking the recording again because I have OCD, let's go ahead and get it done. Certainly remember this part. Really? You're both gonna come up here? Now, hold on a sec. One water arrow, one fire, one moss, one gas. They really pulled all this. Oh, I see. I don't have to deal with them. So we're gonna go ahead and quick save here. Yes, guys, this is it. This is the end. Oh, of course. Oh, fantastic. They're really giving us the, hold on. The options, no, hold on. Objectives, there we go. Oh, we are an expert. Okay, that's good. Well, I don't know if that's good, but that's the way it should be right now. Oh, by the way, this is a gas arrow, not some sort of, like, nebulous, like, I don't know what it is. Is this darkness? No. Thief is the one game where, not the one, but it's one of a few games where you can play the Hello Darkness, my old friend, and mean it literally. You goddamn Maw of Chaos monsters think you're so cool. I'm certainly tempted to just run through this. We're gonna say. Now, I seem to remember that parts of the Maw are tough and then other parts are not so bad. I'm gonna be making a lot of saves, guys, because I don't remember shit about this map. I remember, like, well, I mean, on normal it wasn't so bad. You just kind of, like, follow the path, follow the yellow brick road, as it were. You know, we saved, so I'm gonna try. Stress levels rising. Cortical serum levels at critical percent, guys. Cortisol, not cortical. Cortisol serum levels at critical levels. Oh god. Leave me be, foul beast. Have at thee! That didn't work, did it? Let's go ahead and load. I guess is it 158? Let's load that one. Yeah, that one looks pretty good. You know what this game really needs is like a potion that makes you silent, like a silence potion. Okay, well he... Uh-oh. I guess he saw me, because that's how this game works right now. Let's just try speedrunning it. So I'm definitely not sneaking around all these assholes. Fuck that. Fuck you. Fuck you. Goodbye. Oh my fucking Christ. Did you see? Holy shit! It's an endless procession of assholes. Shit. Okay. Are we safe? Are we good? Let's make a new save. Finding well. I hope this save finds you well when I made that joke on the line. Oh, Jesus Christ. No. We shouldn't have saved. You know what? I'm gonna do it. Come on, you sack of shit. I will fucking wreck you! Ah, that didn't work. It's a Maw of Chaos. Which one? Oh, the save is gonna find us well. Alright, now he's gonna start searching, but we have gas arrows, so he can fuck right off. If that gets us some progress, I'll take it. We have hard saves, so I'm gonna go ahead and quick save, because fuck it. Oh yeah, this is where the craziness goes absolutely insane. This is like Constantine's Manor on acid. Oh god damn it, you stupid mantis freak. Is he okay? I think this is a little too exciting for him. Okay, let's go ahead and... Okay. I'm going to... Cemetery? Yeah, because it's likely going to be my demise, me trying this strategy. God! Ah! The problem I have with these kind of levels is I don't know how long they are. Also, we're definitely going to need some fucking... Oh my god. We better find... I mean, this is the Maw of Chaos. Nature, pagans. There's going to be more... whatever. I'm hesitant to quick save here because I don't know how close he's going to get. Yeah, see, like that. You know what? Just because I fucking hate you. Yeah, have your spasm. Like, finish. Let's get going, dude. Oh, I can't move your body. Okay. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, you can't move the craymen or whatever. I was gonna throw him in the lava. I think that would have been a fitting end for our wonderful friend here. So we got the fake eye, compass, papyrus. Garrett, all we can offer you in aid are these crystals and this passage from one of our oldest books. The trickster's works, such as they are made of the unformed stuff of the world, not the proper materials of the builder hath taught. Fire and water, earth and air, these are for the trickster, as brick and beam are to us. But, like their master, they are flawed. His maw is anchored by raw elements, and therein lies its weakness. Destroy each of its anchors with its opposite, and the maw must then follow in their wake. Oh, Jesu Cristo. So I have to destroy the portal and swap out the eye. I didn't know about that because all I've ever done is swap out the eye. Well, I hope I get enough fucking arrows to do so. If he comes back down here, we're gonna have words. They start getting all stingy with the elemental arrows. I ain't gonna be happy, I can tell you that. I have a feeling they just might too, you know? I don't trust them anymore. Not after the Haunted Cathedral. The opposite of water is fire. The opposite of fire is obviously water. Earth would be moss, and air would be, I'm guessing, either gas or noisemaker arrows. So, I don't know what they consider air, but I'm guessing gas. Let's go ahead and save. We haven't had to use that many arrows thus far, so... But we are going to have to use a moss arrow to go swap the eye out. So I think I finally understand what the... Excuse me? Seriously? I wonder if Looking Glass Studios likes wind chimes. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist. I don't think I could tell you. No. I'm gonna die.
Let's not try that again.
Yeah, let's not. If you please. Hate to say it, guys. I may have to bump the difficulty down on this because they just don't give us a lot of... Jesus! Seriously, no health of any kind, like, oh my god. Let's load a save. Where's our quick save? That's not good. It's like before this whole mess. Yeah, losing that health was probably not the best idea. One thing I will say, so I remember back when I was in elementary school, a buddy of mine was like, dude, my brother just beat Thief the Dark Project on hard. And I was like, or on expert, and I was like, really? Okay, that's cool. He's like, I don't think you get it. Let's go ahead and save, Maze for tamales. He's like, I don't think you get it, bro. That was like a monumental undertaking, and I was like, okay. And I didn't understand. Oh, back. Yes.
Let's not try that again.
Alright, now we can save, and now we can deal with these assholes. Now, I don't know, am I supposed to hit one of these crystals, or am I supposed to hit it when I'm at the altar? I think I'm supposed to do it at the... Yeah, I'm supposed to destroy his portal at the altar. Oh, can I go over here, maybe? Yeah, this looks safe. Relatively. Damn it. Alright, let's load the save. can't really afford to waste much here. Sorry, I think we'll save it again right here. Yeah, he's just like, yeah, my brother just beat it on expert. And I was like, okay, is it a hard game? And he was like, are you serious? Thief? Damn it. So, yeah, I guess I didn't really give his brother the credit that was due. Especially this one. Thief 2. I mean, I'm not saying Thief 2 isn't an achievement. I do get annoyed having to save after every single fucking kill. See if they get stationary, if they stabilize for a second. Let's try going out here then. Fuck you, dude. Seriously, this is some horse shit. I guess I'm just gonna have to save after every single kill, assuming I can snipe it this far with moving targets with a reticle the size of a surfboard. Also, I wish that whatever was equipped when I save would just stay equipped, because I'm tired of having to re-equip every fucking weapon all the time. Yeah, my patience for this game in particular has waned. It has waned, my friends. Also, I did kind of a marathon today. I did, what, Haunted Cathedral. For those of you who are just watching, this was all in one day. I did Haunted Cathedral, Escape, Strange Bedfellows, and now this one. All in one day. This is another issue I have with games on high difficulty. This is why I hated fucking Halo 2 on high difficulties. Oh, I got 2 of them with 1. Alright, so go ahead and save. It's not the same as, like, testing your skill. It's just trial and error, trial and error, trial and error. You know? Halo 2, I watched my friend play Halo 2 on Legendary, and it was just, like, being overly cautious the entire time. It was not interesting. It was not exciting. It did not seem like a good test of skill or anything. It was just a test of patience, really. Thus far, I've really appreciated the difficulty on Thief because essentially it allows you to see all of the content that Thief has to offer. But at the same time, towards the end, it becomes like this, which is like a bunch of trial and error bullshit, which I find annoying. What in the fuck is going on? What a mindfuck this place is. I don't think there are zombies here, but I wouldn't be surprised at this point. And if they're going to be all these crystals, can we please get me some more water arrows? I wonder if we're going to have enough elemental crystals for the end of the game. Actually, I'm a little concerned about water right now, but I guess I shouldn't be. I'm sure there will be like a stream and like whatever, and like a... Did we grab these? There's another thing, like, it's a little shitty with the damage. Like, you can't... I understand that it was important for the ice section, but I'm just trying to traverse the room now. Like, don't take away my health. Let's make another save. Heard not. No, let's got my bro, because I'm gonna go skiing right now. Oh god, I should have gone up there. would have been nice to go up there. I'm sure there was something cool that I might need. We can always reload the save. You know what? Okay, let's do it. We're here to explore as much of this game as possible. There we go. Let's see what's up here. Ah, another fire arrow. Here's the thing. We're probably going to want to fire the fire arrows last. Because they make so much noise. So here's my strategy. I'm going to swap the eye out. Then I'm going to shoot moss first. These are essentially health kits here. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and eat one right now. So that's good. We're missing what? 1, 2 hit points? That's fine. I'm glad we came up here. Let's go ahead and quick save again. Okay, so we got some extra stuff, we have a few extra tools. I forgot, and I think I remember this is on normal too. Yeah, there's so little loot in Strange Bedfellows that there's just a standard loadout for the end, which I think changes based on the difficulty. Actually, no, it wasn't water that I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about moss because the area of the game where the trickster is. See, look at that. Look at that. That's awesome. The area of the game where the trickster, we have to swap the eye out, that's tiled. Really? Screw you then. Okay, let's go ahead. So yeah, in order to put the eye in time, I'm going to need more than one moss arrow, because if I have to use a moss arrow to destroy the portal, then, and I guess the opposite of earth is air. We're going to go with that assumption. Oh, excuse me, guys. Sorry, that sneeze has been building up for a while, and I don't know. Past couple days, for some reason, I can't sneeze. I don't know what the issue is. I certainly hope I'm not developing allergies to something. Now, you know what? I know what the opposite to Earth is. It's rope. We'll use our rope arrow on the thing. I remember this part. Oh yeah, we don't want to go down there because that will drop us back into the place. But we do need to go fast, so let's go diagonally here before we run out of breath and die. Come on, Garrett. Come on, buddy. Oh god, we're gonna die. We're so gonna die. Oh, okay, great. That's what this is for. Let's make another save. Herd non-immunity. Huh. By the way, I'm not making a statement with that thing. I don't know. Because I was thinning the herd there, so I was talking about, like... So don't, you know... Don't... I know this is during the COVID right now, but don't read anything into that. One way or the other. Okay, we need to be directly over it to make sure we make it through. Bam! That worked like a charm. Fantastic. Let's make another save. Crowd control, okay. Now my nose is all stuffed because I've been sneezing. I wonder if there's a... I hope I'm not developing a new allergy. That would suck. Okay, guys.
Huh. Now that's big.
Thank you. That is a big fucking tree. What the hell is up there? I hear spiders. Looks like a gas arrow. I'm not sure what that is. Oh shit. Just gonna make a save real quick and we're gonna get this done clean. Oh my fucking Christ, how many fucking things are there? So I'm talking about, like, I don't ever remember in the original Thief game, or especially even Thief 2, playing Thief 2, a string of guards, unless they were like clearly like a squad or something. But I don't ever remember them all moving like together like that. It's ridiculous. I hear a spider. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and make a new save. Blessed. I do feel blessed right now. Okay. I'm going to go up here and see if that's something we need to collect. And it doesn't come down far enough. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and guess not. I think they're just... there for decoration or something. I mean, I don't know what the hell they are. But yeah, those... Yeah, I knew there was a spider. The telltale hissing or whatever the hell that is. I know your number. I bet it's a red spider too, so that we can't just kill it with one arrow. We gotta go in. No, it's a green one. Okay, I'm being pessimistic. That's dynamite. Okay, so let's go ahead and save. Go ahead and save again now that we got two of these jerks killed. Let's try again. Another arrow. I think he saw his buddy and that's what was going on. Okay. Looking good. If my memory serves, I'm wondering if, there we go. Okay, I'm feeling a little bit better about things now, because we're going to need one moss at least to deal with the... Going to need one moss at least, as I was saying. Okay, because of the gentle slope off the edge, I get that it looks pretty, Looking Glass Studios, but functionally it doesn't work. I need to be able to do that. So they're trying to take us through areas where we can get... Okay, another save for the good guys. Okay, I guess let's go ahead and save again. Blessed. Save over that. Is this a portal I need to jump into? No. Let's load. Okay, so let's gently descend here. Go down here. The spiders have been pretty busy in this tree. Yeah, if I remember correctly, the tree is not super far from the end. Like I said, there's some really cool stuff to see in this level, so. And I think, I don't remember, yeah, I don't think I saw any arrows out here. Let's check our, so we've got 16 broadheads, 6 water, that's not great. 10 fire, that's fine. 6 moss is okay. 4 gas is fine. So we need to conserve arrows as much as possible. That's really the name of the game right now, which I'm a little concerned about. But I think if we can pull it off, that'll be great. Once again, first thing we have to do is I was about to say, I'm sure these are climbable or something, or they're elevators or something special about them. 6, 7. We're only going to need about 2 or 3 on the actual pedestal itself in order to get I was about to say, how do you get out of here? Yeah, that's the other thing you got to remember about Thief is that you can actually climb on very steep slopes in this game. So sometimes traversal is a little confusing because you're just like, well, I surely can't get up there. Oh, yes, you can. Don't worry, buddy. You can get up there. Reload my last save. I don't want to waste any arrows, like, at all, really. So I'm just gonna try this. Because we have health items aplenty, so I'm thinking if we can do this. Okay. Let's go ahead and make another save here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. We'll do that one. God, fucking red spiders. Oh my god, so many spiders everywhere. See, yeah, this is clearly an issue with spawning, pathing, all sorts of stuff. Spawning 2 on top of each other like that just doesn't make any sense. Actually, let's go ahead and do a quick save here real quick. Once again, I mean, we could try and sneak past these guys, but all it's going to take is just one to notice us, and that's it. We're fucking done. So that's why, again, it seems like a level that's really encouraging you to deal with all the threats rather than sneak past them. Of course, that may just be my interpretation. So we have 10 fire arrows. Still not happy about that number of water, just in case we need them for other things. Moss should be fine, and gas should be fine. I would really prefer more, but yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and make another save. Clear path. It's not quite a clear path, but I'll take it. Fuck you. I'm out of here. Leave me alone, bitch. Don't come across my bridge. Gotta go across here quick, 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 quick. Don't want to get fucking killed by the fucking crystals. Okay. I don't think there were any more arrows in that room anyways. I didn't want to waste more time and energy and resources on those stupid spiders. This will be interesting. Hopefully we can knock out all these guys. The one one thing that I can say about this that is a boon, and never, I think it was a little bit wrong about engaging all the enemies there before. But one thing about this that is definitely sort of a boon is I wish they would like explode or something. That would be cool. So this guy's probably coming around here same way. Let's go ahead and make another save up here. We'll do this one. One thing I can say is that Thief 1 and Thief Gold are definitely, they have a totally different flavor to Thief the Dark Project. If you're looking for more Thief but something just a little bit different, you could definitely do worse than going with Thief 1. If, however, you really like Thief 2 and you want more, it'd be hard to tell you like, oh yeah, you're gonna get tons more of that with Thief Gold. Okay. Just because I hate you, just because I'm so pissed off having to deal with you and your friends all the time. There we go. Both of you can sleep in the lava. If it wasn't for those fire elementals, I'd have a pretty solid supply of water arrows as well, so this is really a test of your resource management as well. So far, the toughest stealth challenge has been the very beginning, which, admittedly was a really tough stealth challenge, but I think the lesson I learned the last time I played it was just, what are you doing? You could waste hours in these fucking hallways. Just go. Don't see anybody patrolling down here, so let's get moving. Let's say, in Maw, because I have no idea how far we are from them. I don't remember it taking this long. And I remember using the water streams to get around and that not taking super long either, but then I don't know what's going on here, because seems to, they could have, and I don't know this for sure, but they could have modified the gold version. See, half of me wants it to just end, because it's a little anxiety-inducing to be like, oh god, do I have enough supplies for the rest of the mission? Do I have enough health? Do I have enough this? What's gonna happen if it gets really insane?
Let's just disable that portal and give the hammers a fighting chance.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, let's save. We said we were gonna do Moss first. So that would be 6. That didn't work. Well, let me try it again. Excuse me. Nope. Wrong one. Let me zoom in and go a little bit higher. Like that. There we go. That one's done. Let's go ahead and save. Now the opposite of that would be Earth, so we're going to do air, which I think they fly straight like the fire arrows, so... Yep. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and save here. Okay, so I'm glad this is just this weird little part. We don't have to do this while we deal with the trickster. That's probably a good thing, so I'm going to put a water arrow in. Let's go ahead and quick save, since we know we're not going to need these for anything else. Okay. Go ahead and quick save again. Let's check. Okay, swap the eye, descend through the maw of chaos. Okay, so we finished the... That's all you gotta do. Just save a few arrows, save one of each type of arrow, and that's it. Okay, so we're gonna save 2 times, actually. We're gonna go... Now, what we have to do is go deal with the trickster. Oh, he saw me. Okay, whatever. Go to hell. I don't care. I think we might actually be in a good spot, lads. Lads and lassies. Might be in a very good spot right now. Objective complete. Locate constant. Oh, shit. Alright, well, alright. Here we go. We're gonna do... Constantine. Oh, the anxiety levels are at fever pitch for me right now.
Storm black and blow, swirling gust, rain winds flow, pushing dust, storm clouds grow, doxy clouds, lightning throw, misty shrouds, freezy snow. Call the storm, call the gray, brings thee forth world's old way.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and save because we have a path to the eye now. Just real quick, guys, I just want to iterate that this is basically it. After this, there's gonna be a cutscene, and we're gonna get the end of the game. I'll give you a quick debrief, and I think that's it. So we'll see how bad this is. Okay, let's go ahead and swapped the eye. Let's make sure nothing else bad happens, and I think we're good. Wait for okay, yeah, we're good to go. I think there's another way you can get up here through you can get on top. No, you can't. I don't know what that top balcony is for. Or maybe if you want, you can try and rope arrow up there. But I mean, we're on expert. I don't know what else you would be doing. So I think there's 2 constraints on expert. So you need to make sure you swap the eye before he completes the ritual, first off. And second, you have to close that portal. The portal's not too bad. I think if there were no quick saves, obviously the portal would be a huge clusterfuck, because aiming those arrows is not easy. And then this is just a matter of, you know, here's the thing. I knew the boss fight. You know, it's not a really boss fight, but, you know, I know the whole thing. You can get up there if you want to, I think. Let's go ahead and save. Yeah, let's get a... I don't think I've ever watched it from up here. So we're gonna say save, and we're gonna go box seats. box seats to the destruction of this asshole deity who sent us all over the world to find his stupid thing. Yeah, if you see screenshots and stuff that... Ah! Screenshots will typically have this view. I don't know why. I mean, you can sit on the sidelines anywhere. It doesn't really matter that much.
Night smother light, black brick lamp done with bright, dew and damp, smother tight, dark and hot.
I just want to make sure, yeah, we're good. We just have to wait. That's all we have to do.
Fear the night, call the dark, call the black, brings it forth, I call it back.
I don't know what the red is. Actually, I don't know. It's like there's more than one element here. See, what I thought we were going to have to do is shoot each one of these while he's doing his ritual to close them down, to close the portal. I didn't know it was that one thing. You know, I think they weren't sure how long it was going to take gamers to figure out what to do or how to traverse, but like, you know, yeah, that's marble down there, so it makes a hell of a lot of noise. As you saw, you really only need 2 moss arrows because you can jump from the ledge there to get, as long as he's not facing. It looks like all the smoke is lit up. I mean, I think that's it. I think we're ready.
Open for me.
Here we go. Here we go. Alright guys, we did it. We defeated the Trickster, descended into the Maw of Chaos. We beat the entire thing on Expert, and we did it in style. That's it. That's Thief Gold. There's going to be one more video. There's going to be one more cutscene I'm going to leave you guys with, and then I'll do a little debrief. But let's just take a look at our stats, actually. I want to see how we compared to howlongtobeat.com and some other things. So, stats. 17 hours, 18 minutes, 59 seconds. We beat How Long to Beat's average recorded time. My first time ever on Expert, by the way, and actually my first time ever beating Thief Gold start to finish. There were several levels I didn't play, I never played that rendition of the Lost City. I never played Song of the Caverns. What's the other one I'm thinking of that I'm forgetting right now? I'm gonna have to look it up. I can't even remember it right now. Where is it? I had it open in a window. Give me just 1 second, guys. I got Thief Gold missions. Well, there was a Thieves Guild, but I have played that one before. The Mage Towers, yes, that was another one I really liked, actually, and I think it showed off the same sort of inventiveness as this. The other funny thing I would have to say is, from a pure skill standpoint, where I don't have to deal with AI that's unpredictable or magnetically drawn to me, is, I don't know, you guys in the comments tell me if I was insane, if I was, like, losing my mind or something. But just tell me in the comments if I was losing my mind or insane or being ridiculous or something. But from what I could tell when I was playing Return to the Cathedral, a lot of the zombies seemed magnetically drawn to me. It did even out in the later part of the mission, but like I just noticed at the beginning, and I may upload I'm not going to upload the footage where I did like my first try at Haunted Cathedral, but basically every single hammer haunt in the room and every single zombie ascended the staircase and found me on that beam, and they started assaulting me, including the ghost. After I'd already been hidden in the shadow for quite some time, so... And also, you guys have noticed where, like, I'll track a zombie's path, and they'll be going, like, let's say they go, like, down the hallway through a door and then back, right? Well, I'll be in an adjacent room, and then when they go down, then all of a sudden they'll come into the room. you know, and we also noticed too, this was definitely not just me, you know, being a sore loser or whatever. In what is it, Strange Bedfellows, when I was in the room adjacent to where the priest was being held, one of the rat people, even when I extinguished the campfire, even when I approached very slowly, it was only when, and it's just like, you know what, I'm not making any noise on the stone. He can't see me in his peripheral vision, but he saw me every single time. You'd see people see me through. So there was an issue with the AI knowing my location without me actually having given it away in gameplay. So, yeah, that was one of the issues of the game, and as we saw. Oh, sorry. So what I was talking about is that, okay, sorry, I lost my train of thought again for a second, guys. I've got a lot of things I'm looking at right now, trying to like piece my thoughts together. So what I was saying was this, is that that's sort of like artificial difficulty, and it's unintended difficulty also, because the AI is not behaving the way it's supposed to. There's glitches, there's bugs, it's freaking out, it's noticing where it's not supposed to. But I would say, in terms of pure skill, the amount of skill you need to be able to finish the level, in Thief, I would say honestly Mage's Towers for me takes the cake for the whole game. Possibly Escape is pretty good too, but we do have that same issue again of AI not really acting. But like, there are plenty of places in Mage Towers where there's just like metal flooring everywhere. You don't have that many elemental arrows, so you just have to move quietly, you have to move slowly. Hell, the Song of the Caverns too. I mean, almost the entire place is tiled, so you have to move very carefully through the Opera House. So I would say those, in terms of Thief missions and what Thief is about, were more of a challenge, but ultimately easier for me to tackle because of the consistent rule set, and because I knew, you know, that's the other thing I think about missions that are like in an opera house or in a building or something like that, is there's a uniform construction, so your mind can extrapolate, okay, this should be over there, like in the next room should be this, and the next room should be that. So your mind is sort of pre-mapping the environment before you even get there. Now there will be some surprises along the way, but it pre-maps it for you. Whereas this, you know, levels like this or Haunted Cathedral, you don't, because of the way Haunted Cathedral is set up, but it's more specifically this or Escape, you don't really have any frame of reference for where you're going or what's going on, or even if you're moving in the right direction. So it can be, you can be wasting tons of time going in the wrong direction and felling, you know, tons of enemies when you could have circumvented them. But anyways, that's too much rambling. But yeah, so I would say I'm surprised that, you know, even with the missions that we had difficulty with, and even though that the Mage Towers is a pretty tough mission, I would say, and so is Song of the Caverns. Even considering that and the new missions I never played before, we made excellent time in this game, and I wasn't speedrunning. And as you guys saw, you know, I was playing on Expert, trying to explore all the environments as much as possible, especially the ones where this is my first time through, or ones like Return to the Cathedral, where previously I had probably just, I don't know, rushed out the door or just tried to do, like, you know, the minimum objectives just to get done. So this, you know, this was a great experience for me to be able to check out everything. But I am surprised with the time. But of course, that's a game timer. I'm sure that if you actually watch the videos back to back, it's probably closer to 20 hours with reloads and whatever, and intros and rambling and whatever. So, but anyways, guys, we did it. The Trickster is dead. We finished Thief: The Dark Project / Thief Gold. And I'm really glad you guys checked out this Let's Play. So now that we have that, we've got our campaign total 17 hours, 18 minutes, with a total of 27,000 loot. I'm imagining in the game there's anywhere between 30,000 and 35,000 loot, so we came a little bit short. And only 30 minutes, 53 seconds for the last mission. I can guarantee you this would have been probably 10 to 15 minutes longer had we actually tried to sneak through that initial part, but I'm telling you, it's a huge waste of time. Another weird difference between Thief: The Dark Project and Thief Gold is the Craymen are like much more prevalent in Thief: The Dark Project. I remember fighting so many more of them. They were kind of like the bog standard enemy of any level having to do with the Trickster or whatever. Whereas in this one, there's just Song of the Caverns, which has a couple, and then there's this mission. Whereas in the Dark Project in the Lost City, it's that and fire elementals, and I think the insect men already. I don't know if they were trying to save them as like a surprise towards the end, like, I don't know, the trickster's super soldiers, and that's why, we have to close the portal, because if they transport too many of those, we're going to be totally screwed. I don't know what the deal was, but oh, and I guess there was one in Cragscleft prison. That's true. There was one Crayman in Cragscleft, now that I'm remembering, and I don't think he's in the Dark Project, but I could be wrong. But anyways, yeah, that was Thief Gold. I will say this. Well, we'll do the rest of the debrief later. We finished the trickster. Let's see what happens to Garrett in this final cutscene. And I'm just going to check the recording again before I commit to playing the cutscene. All right.
So you think you've won? I think I've got my eye back. Yet, still, you are blind. If you hadn't noticed, I just saved the world, yourself included. As we knew you would, as it had to be. Now I remember why I left the Keepers. And I remember why we let you go. What do you want from me? Have you come to congratulate me? Welcome me back to the fold? Very well. I will speak my piece plainly. You have accomplished that which was written, and yes, you've done it well. But there is no place for you with us any longer. Yet you will have a great need of us, and soon. I don't think so. I'm through with heroics. And with your kind as well. You cannot run from life as you did from us, Garrett. Life has a way of finding you, no matter how artistic a sneak you are. Listen, there is a book that you were not made aware of. I am here to tell you that it would be wise for you to read it now, if you can still read hieroglyphs. I do try to forget, but you Keepers leave them everywhere for me. Yes. You have more friends than you know. Tell my friends that I don't need their secret book, or their glyph warnings, or their messengers. Tell them I'm through. Tell them it's over. Tell them Garrett is done. I will tell them this. Nothing has changed. All is as it was written. The trickster is dead. Beware the dawn of the Metal Age.
Okay, guys, so that was Thief Gold / Thief the Dark Project. Just putting up the credits here because credit where credit is due. Even though this isn't my favorite in this series, I have to say that cutscene is probably my favorite or one of my favorites in the entire series. I love the ending of Thief Gold. I also love how much it establishes about Garrett's character. I did notice this. The cutscenes are kind of few and far between, even the mission briefings, because the missions are so long, and especially on Gold, they don't give you as much mission briefing for them. Garrett's character is lost a little bit, but I do like the fact that, like, the Keepers come and save him from Constantine's mansion. But at the end of the day, he doesn't, he's not falling all over himself in front of them with gratitude, because he recognizes that they saved him only because they needed him. So he's still kind of, his sort of roguish, self-interested self at the end of the game. He tells him, like, no, fuck off. And it's just a great character moment for Garrett too, because any other hero would be like, yes, well, tell me whatever. And Garrett's just like, yeah, leave me alone. I don't want anything to do with you. I don't want anything to do with this anymore. If I could stop being a thief tomorrow, I think I would do it because I'm just ready to be done. And as I said too, even though this is not my favorite in the series, I have some issues with it, as I have been very vocal about over the past couple of episodes, because that's when they become most apparent in my opinion. I will say this, if you're going to be a Thief fan, you absolutely have to play this game, and not just play it, but like know it fairly well, because so much of the lore comes out of this. This game actually sets up Thief the Metal Age, and it wasn't the gold version. The gold version didn't have an extra cutscene to explain the time. No. They already had it set up, and they knew what they wanted to do, and all of that stuff. Looks like we're at the end of the credits here. I don't know if there's like a post-credit or anything. So they already knew what they wanted to do for Thief 2, and I love that there's such consistency with the lore. Also, if you notice through the cutscenes and stuff like this in the game, they don't mention glyphs. They don't mention the hieroglyphs and stuff until the very end of the game. And again, I don't think that was necessarily shoehorned in to make it work with Thief 2, because that's the original cutscene from the Dark Project. So everything leading up to the plot for the Dark Project, I think, was already pre-planned. And then if you go into Thief Deadly Shadows, where the glyphs and the Keepers become a big part of it, what I'm saying is the writing seems very consistent, and the writing is so good through Thief 1 to Thief 2 to Thief 3, and the story culminates in such a great way in each of the games. And ultimately, Thief 3 is, after you play it, plot-wise, it feels somewhat necessary, because it's a character arc for Garrett through the whole series. There are three major factions in the cities: the Pagans, the Hammerites, and in the Shadows are the Keepers. And the first game deals with the Pagans being the bad guys, and the second game deals with the Hammerites / Mechanists. Mechanists are kind of like the New Testament of the Hammerites, so the Hammerites being the bad guys. And then the third game deals with them both being neutral and not necessarily wanting, the end of the world or anything. And also, what I love in the third game is that Garrett's exploits in these games, so in the second game you help the Pagans to defeat the Hammerite threat. In this game you help the Hammerites to defeat the Pagan threat, but you still robbed the Hammerite temple in this game, and then you robbed the Hammerites again, and you killed their megalomaniacal leader in Thief 2, and then the Pagans, you helped them defeat the Hammerites in the second game, but you still killed the Trickster. So they kind of have a neutral attitude to you. They can't outright hate you, but they're not going to support you either. Their business with you is done. And so that introduces the faction system into Thief 3, which I think is great. And then, of course, the bad guys in Thief 3 are, well, I'm going to leave it up to your imagination. Well, potentially is what I'm saying. So the focus of Thief 3 is not that the Keepers are the bad guys necessarily, but that the Keepers are the main focus. It's not like, oh, the Pagans are out of control, or oh, the Hammerites are out of control. It's more like, well, what's going on with the Keepers? Are they perfect? But of course, the writing, culminates. There's mention of the glyphs. There's mention of Garrett's exploits. His interaction with the factions in the previous games really paint the backdrop for Thief 3. And of course, a lot of the stuff introduced in this game, and then of course a lot of the lore from the second game relating to the Keepers translates to the third game. And what I'm saying is there's this fantastic continuity, as if it was kind of like the MCU, as if it was planned out from the beginning, which the Marvel Cinematic Universe was, but Thief was not. They had some idea what they wanted to do for Thief 2 and where the plot might go, but I think by the time Thief 2 came around, Ken Levine had already left to form Irrational. He was the lead writer on Thief the Dark Project. Warren Spector was not part of the team anymore. He wasn't really involved in writing. But what I'm saying is that the teams that worked on these Looking Glass Studios games, specifically Thief, really had a great understanding of what the core of the writing was about, what the story was about. And because it was a much smaller team, I don't think there was anyone involved with the project, Thief the Dark Project, and then moving on to the Thief 2, that didn't have an intimate understanding of who Garrett was, what the city was, what the factions were about, what the core, lore of the universe was about. So that when most of those people actually got recruited by Ion Storm, by Warren Spector, Ion Storm, they were able to make Thief 3 narratively seamless, in my opinion. I think Thief 3 is narratively seamless. It just picks up, not right where Thief 2 leaves off, but it just fits so well. And the ending of Thief 3 is, like I said, it's like a culmination of everything that's happened to Garrett throughout the entire trilogy, and it is a great capstone to the entire trilogy of Thief games, which is why I would love for them to make a sequel to Thief 3, but also maybe not, because the ending is so deliciously perfect. So what I'm saying is, if you want to really enjoy everything that Thief 3 has to offer narratively and understand who the factions are and get a feeling for the city, you kind of need to play Thief 1. And so, yes, I talked about things that I didn't like in Thief 1, right? And I'm going to go through something kind of interesting here, talk about in a second, but there were some things I have issues with in this game, for sure. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's a great game. I think it's still worth playing, even the missteps, some of that, like Return to the Cathedral. Now, the Haunted Cathedral, I could take or leave that mission. I did get something out of it playing it this time, but the fact that there's just so many freaking enemies and the city is the area of the city is so well illuminated, you're kind of forced into combat. Return to the Cathedral is a little bit different. You are forced into combat in certain areas, but not in others, so you have to rely on a mix of your gadgets and stealth to get through. And even though I'm not really looking forward to playing it again, not Thief Gold, but Return to the Cathedral again, if ever. I may never replay that level because I just have no desire to. I have that many issues with it. Ultimately, I did have I don't want to say enjoyable. I had it was an enriching experience playing it this time. Like, I definitely had a good experience playing it this time. It was nail biting. It was intense. It was creepy. It was atmospheric. I think that, I will say this, I think the in-game storytelling for Thief 2 is a little bit better. There are a lot more subplots to each level, and there's more world building. There's a fair amount of world building in Thief Gold. If you keep in mind, I did try and read every single book I found and things like that, but most of the notes have to do with where to find loot or a secret passage, or Gary owes Jenny money, so he hid it under the flower pot and Jenny's supposed to pick it up, whereas in Thief 2 and Thief 3 to some extent, a lot of times you'll pick up a book and it'll just be nonsense. It'll be a non sequitur. It won't really have anything directly to do with the plot, but what it does do is a lot of extra world building. And I'm not saying this game doesn't do that, I'm just saying that they were getting their feet wet with Thief the Dark Project, and I think once they got to Thief 2, they really I think each level should be a mini open world experience, and each level should have its own story to tell, should advance. So the overall plot for something like Thief 2 is pretty, you don't need a ton of cutscenes for it. The main plot actually happens in the missions. It's the briefing, it's what's happening during the mission, it's narrative twists that happen in the mission. It's world building that you'll sometimes you'll read notes that foreshadow stuff like, hours down the line in the story in Thief 2. And there's subplots. There's subplots about like a servant girl, for example, in a manor that the Lord takes a fancy to, but she doesn't love him, and he finds out that she's been having a relationship with someone who works in the library, so he has them both murdered, and then he doesn't want to be convicted of murder, so he has this secret alcove behind a bookcase. He has their bodies thrown in there, and so their ghosts wander the library at night, and you don't have to uncover that story, but it's there. And I'm not saying that kind of stuff isn't necessarily in Thief Gold, but most of the note finding and things like that there is some of it in aid of world building, but from my impression of the game after just finishing it now, most of it is in aid of the plot. Even the world, so there was some decent world building in Return to the Cathedral, where we read about the fact that why Brother Marcello is not, why his ghost wanders, and why Brother Maris' ghost wanders, because there was something wrong with his funeral, and perhaps he was murdered, or perhaps, his body was unrecoverable, so they didn't actually lay him to rest, and so there are issues with his burial rites, and that's why he's a ghost. And so there's some world building there, but of course what the note is ultimately trying to tell you is that where his body is and why there's an issue, to set up the fact that you're going to have to help this ghost out, So I think they did a much better job of just because the storytelling is non sequitur does not mean that it is not really actually helping tell the story, because it's in aid of the general world building for the game. So I think that's better. That would be another thing I'd like Thief 2 better over. And another thing I gotta say about this once again, and I'm not trying to denigrate the game too much, because honestly I had a fantastic experience playing through this again, and it was being a fan of Looking Glass Studios and a fan of Thief. It was, like I said, I've never sat down and played Thief Gold start to finish. I've played missions here or there, I've cherry picked, I've level skipped, and I've played the Dark Project through from start to finish, but I never got a chance to play Thief Gold from start to finish. And I think part of that was because I was just like, well, what's the big difference? I was like, I played the Dark Project 2 or 3 times. What's the big difference? And it was only, in research in the past 5 years where I was just like, oh, there's a big difference. But I just never found the time. And also, like I said, there's so many levels that kind of put me off. I'm just like, well, I could play that, or I could play Thief 2 again. And one thing I'd like to point out too is, if you want to compare this Thief to Thief 2, is that in Thief 2, there's not a single mission where when it starts I go, oh crap, this mission, fuck. There's not a single mission, except maybe the tailing mission where you have to follow, I think it's Lieutenant Mosley through the city. That one kind of sucks. I don't really like that one. Some people would say Casing the Joint, because it's possibly a clear attempt to pad out the game length with a rushed development cycle where they just had to make one map. But I would say that they do a lot of clever things with the mission constrictions and the level design in Casing the Joint to make it a good lead-in. It's not as long as the next level. The next level is one of the longest in the game. And it's a good lead into that to help you get your bearings, so you're not going into this huge overbearing mission with no frame of reference. And also it puts the strictures on you to not get caught. You can knock people out, but you can't get caught doing it. Or no, that's not true. You can't knock people out. So it makes you have to ghost the mission, which ultimately means that if you're not good at ghosting missions, you're going to have trouble getting enough loot, and you're going to need tons of loot, because the next mission after Casing the Joint is where you do the actual heist, and there are tons of security systems, there are tons of torches, there are a ton of guards, so you're going to want gas arrows, mines, water arrows, a bunch of stuff, so you're going to need to maximize your loot while ghosting a mission. It was actually one of the toughest missions I ever played, possibly the toughest in all of Thief, but it was an enjoyable challenge, because it was like, okay, now I'm forced to ghost it. Let's still try and explore as much as possible. So I still got a lot out of Casing the Joint. But let's pivot over to Thief Gold for a second. Let's talk about the missions that every time I start them I go, oh, holy crap. Well, actually, we're going to go mission. So the first one, Keeper Training. I love Keeper's Training. I think it's great. I think it helps establish a lot of the lore for the franchise, Garrett's background, and it's a pretty good tutorial mission. Plus, it's got some beautiful architecture and some interesting aesthetic choices. Lord Bafford's Manor. I don't think I could think of a more perfect mission, because a Keeper's Training is supposed to be, right, the training mission, but since there are no steaks, who cares? Because I love steak, medium rare. No, I actually take a medium now. Medium rare is just, I like somewhere in between medium and medium rare. But anyways, I digress. No, Lord Bafford's Manor. There aren't too many electric lights, but there are electric lights. You have to learn. Oh, some light sources can't be extinguished. And in fact, what I love is that the gameplay and level design most likely informed the steampunk aesthetic of Thief. The fact that you have this really look at this what's on the screen right now. You've got these, like, you know, these belts turning with the serpentine. Well, it's not a serpentine belt, just some sort of rubber belt, and then these pistons to the side and these gears. This does not look like something that belongs in the medieval era. I also think this was a poor choice for the title screen for Thief, because while it establishes the steampunk aesthetic, this one is more about the pagans and chaos and stuff like that. It should have been more like overgrown vines or something. And in Thief 2, the Metal Age has a similar title screen. So, but anyways, I think it informed it, because I think someone at Looking Glass was just like, well, we can't have every light source be extinguishable, because how do we ramp up the difficulty? And someone said, oh, that's a good point. Well, if we're in medieval times, how do we have constant light sources, or not non-fire based light sources? Someone said, like, well, you could do electric lights, and someone was just like, what have you been smoking? And he was just like, no, let's do a steampunk thing. And that out of that was born the medieval steampunk, which has yet to be rivaled in any fantasy setting that I've ever heard of. That doesn't mean anything. Maybe there's plenty of it, and I just never heard of it. But most steampunk is like late 1800s era, early 1900s era, and their technology is just a little bit further than where it should be, and like flying in the sky and stuff. No. This is just like, okay, we're gonna have all the industrial tech you see on the screen here, but we're gonna throw it in fucking medieval Europe with castles and, you know, guys in chainmail and shit. That's just such an interesting aesthetic, right? And it could be that just the gameplay development informed, well, we're gonna need this and we're gonna need that, and it would be nice to have elevators, and it would be nice to have this, and it's just like, well, just fuck it, make it steampunk. It can still be medieval, just make it steampunk. There you go. And now you can have and so Lord Bafford's Manor introduces you to buttons and introduces you to the steampunk world, so that when you see electric light sources and things like that, you're not like, what the fuck is this? You're like, I guess it's a weird universe. Where does this take place? It introduces you to swimming. It introduces you to being out on the street and just being another citizen, so you don't have to worry about guards. But it also introduces you to the fact that once you start breaking into places, you're going to be suspect. It introduces you to pickpocketing, lockpicking. No, it doesn't do lockpicking. Not quite. It introduces you to a lot of like, if you compare it to like Thief 2 does not use a lot of tiled floors, except for very difficult missions. The weird thing about Thief 2 is they presuppose you've played Thief 1. The first mission's not hard, but it's not necessarily tutorialized either. There's a lot of stuff you're not going to know just by playing the first mission in Thief 2. Whereas Thief 1 has a full-on tutorial plus an intro mission that adequately introduces you to all of the major gameplay mechanics. So you're introduced to tile floors. You're introduced to things like having to hop between bits of carpet. You're introduced to the fact that stone doesn't make much noise, especially if you're crouched. You're introduced to extinguishing light sources. You're introduced to the fact that there are multiple pathways to get around obstacles so that you don't just have to brute force everything. You're introduced to secrets, like, oh, there are secret passages. Like, yeah, you can tear the banners off of walls and look for stuff behind you. You're introduced, I don't think they do moss arrows in the first mission, but if they do, you're introduced to that. You're introduced to water arrows. You're introduced to health potions. You're introduced to picking up food items and eating them. You're introduced to like reading notes to find where secret stashes may be. You're introduced to the concept of enemies that you can't, or NPCs you can't kill, like servants and things like that. You're introduced to having to read these sort of rudimentary maps and make out where you are based on landmarks that you can tell in game versus what you're reading on the map. You're introduced to picking up clues and reading them to find out like someone's diary, to find out like, oh, okay, there's a piece of treasure hidden behind here. It's a great introductory mission, right? And I'm gonna speed this up actually now that I'm realizing how much time it's taking. So Lord Bafford's Manor, fantastic mission. I love the look. I love the aesthetic. I think it perfectly embodies everything that Thief as a series is trying to set up. Unfortunately, in my opinion, I don't think it accurately sets up what the game is going to be. Crag's Cleft Prison. I think once you get out of the mines, it's a super solid Thief level, and it's iconic, but I really hate the mines in the beginning, and especially on Expert, having to get out by going back exactly the way you came, dealing with zombies, and having to swim with a body on your shoulders. I mean, what's to prevent Basso from drowning while he's on your shoulders swimming? It felt a little unrealistic, and it felt ridiculous. And there's quite a few zombies you have to deal with. You can get them to aggro with the Hammerites, but I don't know. So that, again, there's already a caveat here. It's not just like, oh, I love this mission. It's just like, ugh, the fucking beginning. I don't want to do the beginning. Then we go down in the Bone Horde. Another one I roll my eyes at. You know, so many fucking zombies you got to deal with, and it's a game, or it's a level that is all about exploration and puzzle solving, which means you need to either be able to have ways to traverse the environment safely and backtrack back and forth a lot of the time so you can figure out where you're going and what you're doing, and solve puzzles, or reliable ways to stealth around enemies, or reliable ways to dispatch enemies so that you can freely roam. And it has none of those things, right? You have to be on the ground level to get a lot of the loot. You're not going to get 100% of the loot, or most of the puzzles if you don't go to the ground floor, and the ground floor is just untenable. There's too many zombies. And even on normal, with all the holy water and arrows in the world, you're not going to be able to kill every single zombie in the level. In addition to that, there's not a great way of dispatching the enemies, like knocking them all out and hiding them in shadows. And there's not a ton of different ways around the map to facilitate solving all the puzzles and discovering all the things. So it's really just kind of a super obnoxious situation where you're constantly like running away from zombies and they're constantly finding you and everything like that. So again, even though I like the layout of the level and the stuff you do in it, I think the introduction of zombies, or one of the things I like about one of the T-Fix mods, is that you can actually hack zombies to death. You can, or at least you can make them non-threats. You can hack their limbs off and then they can't attack you anymore, which honestly, in terms of an immersive sim, I think that's better, because then they can't really do anything to you. It makes a little bit more sense. You can hack their head and their arms off and then they can't do anything to you, and now they're just non-entities. And it is a risk, just like going up against hammer haunts or any of the other enemies in the game, but it's not that bad. But here's the other thing that sucks about Down in the Bone Horde, is there's such a surplus of burricks in there too, that you're fighting all these dinosaurs, and it's just fighting combat, and the stealth arenas in the game are not set up. There's too much illumination, there's too many the AI has too many interlooping pathways, so it's hard to find breaks in their patrol patterns to be able to get through, and ultimately it boils down to just devolving into combat, and so that's why I don't like. So there we go. We already have two, one with a caveat and one that I just absolutely groan when I have to do it. Then we've got Assassins, which is once again one of the best thief missions in the series. I don't like having to tail the guys in the beginning, but it doesn't really last that long. It's not too bad. And then once you get into Ramirez's house, it's just pure thief perfection. One of the best missions in Thief, and once again, much like Lord Bafford's Manor, I feel like it is sort of a pure distillation of what you can expect from the series and what people love about the series. And there's a hearty amount of challenges, but it's not so challenging that it's like super frustrating, and there's a lot of secrets to be found, and it's a fairly big place, and playing it on expert allows you to see so much more of the place and everything. The Thieves Guild, I think, is, on paper, it's a fine mission, and I'm not gonna list this as a groan mission because, like an eye-rolling mission, because I think that ultimately there are enough good things there, and although I will say this, it's a little too labyrinthian for its own good, so there's another caveat there. So that's what I'm saying, we're already at 2 caveats in one eye-rolling mission. The Sword, another fantastic classic thief mission, which I think is pretty much perfect. I think it's a little difficult, especially in the Dark Project. This is like the 3rd or 4th mission. It's a little difficult for its placement in the mission list, but I love this sort of Winchester House crazy zany aspect of it, and of course it's only made even better in Thief Gold. There's already so much there's like this weird like floating walkway out in space, and there's like, you know, jumping up into the water to like swim up to get into the next room, and there's all sorts of weird shit like that in Constantine's mansion, but of course it's made even better with the Little World Big World edition in Thief Gold. But now we get to the Haunted Cathedral, and as you guys know, that's a huge eye roll for me, because you have to like traverse the entire, like, especially on expert, you have to backtrack back and forth across the entire map multiple times to complete all the objectives, yet it is flooded with burricks and zombies and spiders, and there are just so many enemies in the level, and it's just like, I would have rather this level been populated with guards who have predictable AI. You know, they're not at a heightened state of awareness. They don't have some sort of a magnetic attraction to me, and it's a little bit easier to dispatch them, knock them out, hide them in the shadows. You can't knock out burricks. You can't knock out zombies, which means that you just have to wait for breaks in their patrol patterns. But as you saw in my playthrough of Haunted Cathedral, they loop in on each other. There's just never a break, and so you basically just either have to... And that's the thing, because you have to do so much backtracking and just getting your bearings requires you to have free reign of the streets, you have to engage in combat for the most part. Unless you know the level like the back of your hand, you pretty much have to engage in combat if it's your first time going through. So it's a big problem. Big problem. And that's another one where I just rolled my eyes and I fucking hated it. Then we get to the Mage Towers, fantastic mission. I've already said a bunch about that. Lost Cities, pretty good mission. I mean, I didn't really have too many issues with it. It's not my favorite, but I don't have like a bunch of eye rolls when I want to do it or when I'm going to play it. Song of the Caverns, fantastic mission. Probably one of my favorites in Thief Gold, for sure. Undercover is, I wouldn't say it's like an overly fantastic mission, but it's pretty fun, and I like the fact that it tries to, change up the stealth aspect of the game. Then we get to Return to the Cathedral. Oh my god. And you guys, I already talked at length about that in the previous episodes, and to some extent this one already. Escape, I have issues with Escape. It's not the worst, but it's not a mission I'm chomping at the bit to play. Strange Bedfellows was fine, I guess, but once again, a lot of situation where there's too much tiled floor, and a lot of combat heavy emphasis. And then Into the Maw of Chaos was that was one thing, but that was okay, and it's really the same across all difficulties and everything like that. And I don't really have anything bad to say about it because I think it really fits the theme of the game. But what I'm saying is looking at my hand right now that I've counted on, 5 missions out of 15, right? And those were the groan-worthy ones. Those aren't the ones with asterisks. You know what I mean? Like Strange Bedfellows has an asterisk. Thieves Guild has an asterisk. That could be up to 7. So we're close to 7 missions that have serious problems. Some of them are good in spite of themselves, and some of them are just... It's not that they're bad missions, it's just that, when I'm thinking about, let's play this game, it's like, yeah, but then we're going to have to do that mission and that mission and that. We're approaching half of the game, a 15-mission game, and it's even worse in Thief Gold, because you have, you have Down in the Bone Horde, you have Haunted Cathedral, You have Return to the Cathedral, and you have Escape. That's 4 out of 12. So that's a third. So I guess it's about a third either way. A third approaching a half either way. So that means like half the game is like you're not going to be that enthused to play it. Whereas most of the missions in Thief 2, I think, are like, oh my god, I love this mission, or oh, I forgot about this one. This is a great one too, or like, oh, this is a cool one. I can't wait to do this one. You know, there's a difference between playing something like one of the longer missions in the game and this one, like Return to the Cathedral, which is complicated and long and has a lot of objectives, versus playing something like Life of the Party. You know, Haunted Cathedral, it's like, okay, this is going to be a challenge, and I want to see if I can do it this time. Especially on Expert, and I have to really think, you know, it's nail-biting, and I got to think on my feet and everything. And then there's another one like Life of the Party, where I'm just excited to be playing it again. It's so, every aspect of it is so good, I'm just excited to be playing it again. Like, I'm super jazzed. And that's the big difference between me for Thief Gold and Thief 2. I think Thief Gold has a lot to offer. I think it's a great game, but one of the issues I have when people cover Thief or want to talk about Thief is it's usually gaming channels that are just like, let's talk about the history of stealth games. Let's talk about a very influential stealth game. And so they'll talk about Thief as if it was like, yeah, it was just this milestone and like showing that you could make a stealth game, but the game itself is just okay. Not realizing that, and all they talk about is Thief, the Dark Project, and all they talk, the only footage they show is like Lord Bafford's Manor and maybe one other mission. Whereas, you know, someone might be like, oh, I want to check that out, and they check it out, and it's just like there's Down in the Bone Horde, there's Haunted Cathedral, Return to the Cathedral, The Lost City to some extent, the beginning of Break for Crag's Cleft, and it's not just about the undead, it's about like the numbers you have to deal with, the fact that there's not a reliable way to deal with them, the fact that the stealth can be kind of broken around them. It's gonna, and all the Burricks too, that's the other thing. It's not just the undead, it's the Burricks as well. It's gonna turn a new player off, and honestly, it detracts from the overall experience, in my opinion. Whereas you compare it to something like Thief 2, which gets relatively little coverage, if any at all. When gaming outlets talk about, or gaming journalists, quote-unquote, talk about how influential the Thief's, they think of it as an influential franchise that doesn't really stand on its own, and it's just sort of like was the progenitor for some of these gameplay elements, not realizing that, no, the franchise and series in and of itself is fantastic. And it wasn't just influential because it laid the groundwork, it's influential because everyone's still trying to copy it. And they're failing at doing so, and no one has met him. And that's best exemplified in games like Thief 2, the Metal Age. And so I get a little annoyed when people talk, they're just like, oh, Thief the Dark Project was released in 1998. It was in a year where stealth games became ubiquitous. It was one of the first stealth games. I'm tired of hearing that shit, because it's going to encourage people, oh, let's check out Thief Gold or Thief the Dark Project, and they're like, yeah, I'm just not liking a lot of these levels. It's like, it's really like rubbing me the wrong way, and then they're just gonna like, well, the series sucks, not realizing that they are like, they're just a hair's width away from just approaching pure perfection, which is Thief 2. You know, Thief 2 took everything that Thief Gold did right, it threw out everything it did wrong, pretty much, and just made absolute solid fucking, you know, gold pressed platinum out of it. It was fucking amazing, and it just really drives me nuts when it doesn't get the, you know, basically here's when people cover Thief, they should be like, well, you know, the first one was like an interesting stealth game that laid the groundwork for stealth gameplay in general, it laid the lore for the franchise, and it was widely successful when it came out. And then the second one came out, and it just blew everyone's minds with like how much it improved, and it was like, you know, one of the best games of all time. Nobody says that, nobody discusses this, because the people that are covering this don't actually give a shit about Thief or Looking Glass Studios or even stealth games. They're just told by, you know, their editor, okay, we're gonna write up something about Thief this month, you know, because it's like close to the 20-year anniversary, it's close, or a new stealth game came out, and blah blah blah, you know. So that's why, especially on my channel, coming up, I'll be doing a retrospective for Thief Gold. I'll be doing a review that's going to be a little bit like the format of this debrief right now, where I'm just going to be kind of talking about my general thoughts. But for Thief 2, I'm going to do more like a retrospective. I'll mention Thief Gold, but I'll really be covering Thief 2, the Metal Age, more extensively, and talking about everything right with that game. But yeah, that's my takeaway. That's my debrief on this. My attitude has changed on it. It's definitely endeared itself to me a lot more than the first time I played the Dark Project. I've heard reviewers say that Thief Gold, because it's so much longer, does actually sort of like break the pacing of the Dark Project a little bit, and that's true. I felt like the story had more flow the first time I played the Dark Project. This, I kind of lost sight of the story for a while. I was just like, oh, all these really, like, some of these missions are very long. The opera, the mage towers, those are like 2 hours and some change. So they're not short, and I did kind of lose track of the story, but what I will say is that in terms of like pacing for the gameplay, it was some nice welcome breaks from, a lot of the combat heavy or supernatural, like zombie enemy or Berg enemy heavy levels. So honestly, the game felt a lot more balanced to me, Thief Gold, and it really endeared itself to me. I mean, I loved Song of the Caverns. I loved the Mage Towers. I don't know. I'd have to go back and play the original Lost City. I think I might prefer the original. I don't know. It's been so long since I've played it, so I would like to go back and replay the Lost City at some point. But I liked the new one too. I thought it was cool. And missions that I had like a big problem with, like Down in the Bone Horde and the beginning of Break from Craigslist. Now that I know them like the back of my hand, or close to like the back of my hand, they're not as daunting to me. Even the Return to the Cathedral, I mean, going in now, I would have a totally different... I would buy different things going in, and I'd have a totally different approach to how to do it. Plus, I could, now that I wouldn't have to figure out what to do, I could have a totally different workflow for how I get through the mission. And I also know, like, oh, okay, I was playing on Expert. If I was just going to play for fun, like, if I just want to replay, I might play normal or hard, so that when I get to that mission, I can buy more supplies, so I can deal with some of the zombies more. Because you know me, guys, I like to deal with them. And I like missions like Undercover, so, like, I think this game had a lot to offer, and I really enjoyed the full experience. And, of course, missions like Assassins were fantastic as well. And like I said, I got a lot out of Return to Cathedral this time. Like, I felt more immersed in it, and I felt like I had a better understanding of the map, what was going on, the stories that were being told there. And now I can sort of say definitively, when I'm talking about Thief. Because I remember I did play the Dark Project many times back in the day, but it's been so long that it's good to have sort of a refreshed frame of reference for the game. So ultimately, and that's really the takeaway. When I rag on this game, I'm not trying to denigrate it to the point where I'm just like, it's a bad game. No, I mean, you can tell there was a lot of enthusiasm when I played. I was really enjoying playing most of the time, and it was really engaging. I mean, I was never bored. I was totally engaged the entire time. So it's not a bad game. I just think that if you're trying to get someone interested in the Thief franchise, maybe start them on Thief 2. But it's kind of a hard recommendation for me because, as I said, like, I like a lot of what is in this game, and one of the things I like that's in this game as well, than just the levels that I like, is the lore. This really sets the foundation for all of the Thief franchise, and there's so many references in 2, and especially 3, to the events in this game, that if you go into those games without having played this one, you're going to be kind of lost, and I think it's not going to be as enriching of an experience. And so it's hard for me to say, like, just tell people to play Thief 2 and then they can play this one if they want to, especially once they've honed their skills more. I want to say that because I think if we want to crunch the numbers objectively, that's probably the best way to do it. But then again, you're kind of cheating them out of the experience of having played through this one and dealt with some of its positive qualities and some of its negative qualities, and moving into a much better game, having a great understanding of how the gameplay mechanics work, and then being able to have fun with that. So I really wouldn't know what to say, to be honest. I mean, I know which game I prefer, but obviously I still play this one, and I guarantee I will play this one again. I don't know if I'd do it on I don't know if I'd do every level on Expert again, and I also don't know if I got a little annoyed in a couple of missions, I might just skip. But beyond that, I think I would absolutely love playing this again at some point in my own leisure. I will certainly have more of a preference for Thief 2 and Thief 3 though. But yeah, one of the great entries in Looking Glass's catalog, one of the great entries into gaming. And again, the attitude and the lore and the atmosphere and the feeling and the aesthetic and the storytelling and the characters and everything that this game laid out. Also, some of the best levels in the Thief series. Like I said, I think Lord Bafford's is a fantastic... Lord Bafford's and Assassins are, like, up there in terms of, like, really nailing what Thief is all about. And then you've got great missions like the Sword, which you couldn't do in Thief 2. It just doesn't really fit with the plot, so it's nice to have a... Like I said, that's the other thing that's nice about this game. Gameplay-wise, like, in terms of how the mechanics work and stuff, yeah, they're basically the same game, Thief 1 and Thief 2. But the mission structure, the plot, the flavor of how the missions go, the fact that there are missions where you have to deal with lots of enemies, and there is more of a combat-focused approach to some of the missions, mean that Thief Gold has a totally different... Thief Gold and Thief the Dark Project has a totally different flavor from Thief 2. So, between the two games, you're not just going to be like, I guess more of the same. You're going to be like, oh, I kind of like that this game has a totally different flavor. Like Constantine's Mansion is a totally different flavored experience from anything you're going to experience in Thief 2. You're not going to have that kind of wacky, crazy, zany, chaos-filled... Well, except for one mission, but that theme is sort of repeated through a couple of different missions in Thief 1, and so it's just really great to have that. And I love the introduction to the Lost City. I think I actually prefer the Lost City level in Thief 1 to Thief 2. You know? So anyways, that was my debrief on the game, guys. Thank you once again for joining me for the Let's Play. For those of you that are still here, I'm sure there's a fair number of people who was just like, okay, final cutscene, good job, man, and turned off the game. But anyways, for any of those who are still here listening to me drone on and babble about these games, I'm glad that you checked out this Let's Play. I know that I'm getting a lot of positive feedback from it, so thank you all for your support and encouragement finishing this game and putting this up. I'm glad everybody's enjoying it, so... and look forward. So I won't be moving into Thief 2 right away. Like I said, I've been playing too many fan missions on my own time, too much of this game. I need a break from the Dark Engine for a little while, so I think I'm actually going to be doing... And I think I need a break from the Thief universe for a little while, and if I don't take a break from the Thief universe, you can be sure I'll be playing Thief Deadly Shadows next, because I'm sort of trying to play games in order of when was the last time I actually got a chance to play them. In Thief Deadly Shadows, ashamedly, I think the last time I got a chance to play Thief Deadly Shadows was maybe like 2008, 2009, you know? And Deus Ex, the last time I got a chance to play, was probably around the same time, so... that's going to be the next thing up on the channel, so you guys have that to look forward to. I'll be doing Let's Plays of Deus Ex and Thief Deadly Shadows. I don't know if I'm going to do a mission-to-mission structure for Deadly Shadows. It works much better for Thief Gold, especially. There were so many missions I didn't know, so I just wanted to make sure, okay, here's a concise video, whatever. But I might be doing 2, 3, 4 missions at a time for Thief Deadly Shadows, and Deus Ex, you know. It's not necessarily broken down by mission, so I'll just be doing probably like 2 to 3 hour play sessions at a time until the game is over. So, and I just want to get into something different. I want to get at like a cyberpunk game, just a different setting. I'm ready for something different. So that's what you guys have to look forward to next on the channel. I should be starting it probably this weekend or maybe a few days later. And once again, thank you for watching this Let's Play of Thief Gold. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if it inspired you to install the game and get started on your own playthrough, please let me know in the comments, and I hope you enjoy your playthrough, and I hope that this has illuminated some pitfalls and maybe some things you might do different on your playthrough. So, that's it for me, guys. Once again, thanks for watching, and thank you for all the feedback and support. And we have a review for Thief Gold to look forward to, which quite honestly is not going to be much different than the debrief I just gave you. We have a review of that coming up, and then I'll be getting into some other games, some other either Looking Glass Studios games or immersive sim games up here soon. So keep an eye out for those on my channel. And that's it for me. Thanks for watching.